one performs empathy and great-heartedness more than a woman who was stuck in a cycle with a toxic man. Because when it comes to that toxic man that they be in and out of a relationship with and the man be abusing them, now all of a sudden, like, they're such an empath and they can't just turn their back on that person because they have such a good heart. I can't stand that. It's not that you got a good heart. You do not care about yourself. Y'all got to start being big sisters or mothers to yourself, not to other people. Because when you be friends with another woman and her man been knocked her head between the washer and dryer, y'all be hating that dude. Y'all don't be having no type of empathy. Y'all be telling that girl, like, girl, you need to leave that man. That man might end up killing you, da-da-da. But then when it come to y'all, when it be y'all, and y'all don't be ready to leave that man alone because y'all still be insecure. Y'all haven't done the inner work to heal and to move forward. Now, all of a sudden, you got such a good heart. You're pure-hearted. You don't want to see nothing bad happen to them because you don't care about yourself. If you was looking at yourself as like a little sister that you want to protect, you would have no issue cutting that person off.
Hey guys, so this My5onit, and yes, this is my video, y'all. Go follow me on TikTok because I be posting videos like that all the time. Y'all, I just woke up. Like, I did not record a video yesterday, so I'm recording a video this morning. I ain't even got up out my bed yet, y'all. I ain't even brushed my teeth yet. Anyway, so let's jump straight into this video. This My5onit. I feel like I didn't experience this. I feel like I done heard friends say this. I feel like I done heard my mama say this. Like, I feel like I done heard my granny. Like, I'm just playing out everybody. But I'm saying, so many women, I don't like when people try to play it off like they in a toxic relationship or a toxic friendship or a toxic family. And when people get that asking them like, hey, why you be letting that person abuse you? Or why you be letting that person dog you and mistreat you or whatever? I don't like when people be like, because I got a good heart and I'm just a good person and da-da-da. Because one thing about it, this how I know when somebody not really no good person for real. When they treat themselves bad. That's a prime example that you are not a good person when you could treat yourself bad. And there's a lot of people-pleasing people out here who will put their own wants and needs and stuff on hold for other people just so they could get a little bit of fake validation, because that's what it be, right? I just feel like people need to stop. And there's some people who probably really think that because they do everything for their family or because they do everything for their boyfriend or their girlfriend, that they a good person. You're not going to be no good person until you pour that energy to yourself. That's when you're going to be a good person. Because someone who can neglect themselves for another person, they will neglect someone else for them. Like, let me tell you, right? Say it's a woman that got a child. So now she a mama. Say that mama is in a relationship with her baby daddy or her husband, right? Say they got married, right? Say if her husband be like cutting up on her, cheating on her, embarrassing her, like doing all kinds of stuff. If that woman leave that man, right? So say she take her baby and she going by her business, right? And she do like co-parenting with the dad or whatnot. That woman is being good to herself because she did not put up with that. She left that man when that man kept cheating on her and wasn't helping her with the child like he was supposed to and all that. She left that man. She up and left because that was her being good to herself. That was literally her being good to herself. I feel like people be having it effed up. When you take yourself out of a toxic environment with people or a person that does not like you, that is you being a good person to yourself. You know what that trickles down to? Your child. So by you being a good person to yourself and being like, okay, I'm going to go find better. If this dude ain't giving me what I want, I'm going to go find a better example for not only me, but also my child, right? That trickles down to the children and the child. Because by her being a good person and cutting that toxic baby father, whoever, out of her life, she also is helping her child because her child doesn't have to grow up and watch her get mistreated, cheated on. Because one thing about when a woman is being mistreated and cheated on by her husband, her baby daddy, whatever, that stresses her out. Like, that literally stresses her out when she not being treated like how she's supposed to be treated by the person that she risked her life to give a child. That would stress them out. And a lot of times when a mama gets stressed out, that affects her parenting, right? So that's why I said you can't be good to nobody if you're not being good to yourself. Because let's do the other version. So say it's another woman and she got a baby by a man, and a man dogging her, cheating on her, doing all kinds of stuff. Say if not like woman A, say if woman B decides to stay with that man for years and years and years. So she got a child, she raising her child under the same roof as this toxic man that she knows don't mean her no will, right? Eventually, all that trauma and stuff that she experiencing from the dad, it's gonna trickle down to that child, because since the mama stayed in that type of environment with a man treating her bad, beating on her, cheating on her, doing her all types of ways, right? By the mama staying in that, that's her not being a good person to herself. That's her putting herself on the back burner. That's her putting a man over herself, right? We ain't even got to the child yet. We just talking about the mama. The mama not being good to herself because she like, I'm going to stay with she says she going to stay with an abusive man that makes her feel bad for whatever reason, right? Fast forward to the child, right? The mama stayed in that abusive situation, and it starts to trickle down to the child. Because if the man is abusing the mother, 9 times out of 10, he's going to abuse the children. Duh. So based on woman B not being a good woman to herself first, she wasn't able to be a good mother to her child, because not only did she keep herself in a toxic, abusive environment, she kept her child in a toxic, abusive environment. So not only did the mother become depressed, that demon of depression also got passed down through her children. So now the whole family fighting demons now, because the mama didn't want to be a good person to herself. Now, I don't think this is solely on the mama fault, because we got to hold these fathers accountable too for being terrible fathers. We got to hold them accountable too, because it's like, yeah, don't do that. Like, these men, they got to be better for real. But the only way these men going to be better if women stop settling. If a man knows that he can beat on you, cheat on you, do you any kind of way, steal your money, do whatever. If he knows he could do that and mistreat your child, why would he do better? Why would he do better? I was just using this example the other day, right? If I go to American Deli and I order me a Philly cheesesteak plus the hot wing combo, and it come with fries and a drink, right? If they give me all that for the same price as if I just got the wing combo, so the wing combo is just the wings and the fries and the drink. I ordered the Philly cheesesteak, the hot wings, fries, and a drink combo, right? If they sold me the Philly cheesesteak and wing combo the same price they would sell me the wing combo for, do you think I'm going to come and tell them people, hey, I think you need to up your prices? Because the same price I could get this Philly and the wings, I could get it for just the wings. You think I'm going to go and tell them people the worth of their Philly cheesesteak and chicken wing combo? No, I'm going to keep getting it for the low. Until one day I might come in there and they may say, yeah, we know you always get the Philly cheesesteak and the wing combo for $9.99. Same price as the regular wing combo. But we realized our worth, and we're actually going to up the price on the Philly cheesesteak and wing combo because you get more food that way. So if you're going to get more food, then it's only right that you pay more money. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pay the price so I can get me that Philly cheesesteak and wing combo. And then I'm going to be in the back of my head like, yeah, they finally figured out their worth. They finally found out their worth. Exactly. That's how these men be. That's how these men be. That's how these men be. So it's like, if a man knows that he could beat on you, cheat on you, lie to you, not give you no relationship, not give you what you want, but he knows that he could do all that and you'll have his baby, why would he treat you any better? My bad. Why would he treat you any better? The price is so low. He could get you for the same price that he could get a woman that wouldn't get her no child, wouldn't get her no baby, or already got one by another man. But yeah, y'all, it makes sense. That's how, like, don't trust nobody that claims they're a good person, they're a selfless person, and the only way they could show you that they're this good person is through all the stuff that they do for other people. That is not a good person. That is a superficial person and they're trying to earn the validation of a good person without doing the work. Because to become a good person, you have to do the work. Because one thing about human beings, we're not perfect. We make mistakes, but it's how we go about the mistakes. Is you going to apologize or is you going to act like you ain't do nothing wrong? Right? So I truly believe that. I don't trust no woman that's in no abusive relationship and she done been in there for 10, 20 years. And she studied crying about, oh, the man do that, the man do this, the man don't do that. Talk about her kids. Because then when people get to asking the women, like my mama, oh my gosh, bruh, my mom used to say this all the time.
Oh, I'm with y'all dad because I want y'all to grow up in a household with two parents, and I'm only with y'all dad because I got kids.
Please stop blaming that BS on the kids, bro. Please. Y'all be excusing y'all staying in an abusive environment, raising your children in an abusive environment, and blaming it on the kids like, oh, if I ain't had these kids, I'll leave him. No, you wouldn't, bro. That be pissing me off. That my mom used to piss me off with that so bad. Because it's like, how is you staying in a relationship with this man for us and we want you to leave him too? You staying in a relationship with a man, you staying in a marriage with a man that doesn't do right by you, does not treat you right. And your reason that you're saying you're staying with the man is because of us and we don't like him neither? Are you serious? And I'm going to tell y'all, and this how I knew, like, I can only speak for myself. This how I knew I wasn't really effing with my dad like that. Like, through all the stuff, because it's like my dad was around, but he was absent at the same time. Like, emotionally and mentally, my father was absent, but physically he was there. I would rather him be absent altogether. You know what I mean? Because it was a lot of things missing in our relationship due to him not wanting to be emotionally vulnerable. That didn't have nothing to do with me and my brother. Like, me and my brother did not make my dad scared to open up emotionally. That happened before him and my mom even decided to have children. They ain't had nothing to do with us, but we had to suffer the consequences of stuff that was going on before we was even thought of. So just off the strength of that, I mean, I guess I could say I love my dad because he gave birth to me, but I don't genuinely love my parents. And that's no shade. That's not me hating on them. And it's like, I know a lot of people will hear that and think like, I'm not trying to be mean. It's a genuine thing. My parents did not allow me to build that like connection, that love for them. They didn't allow me to do that. When you raise a child and you make things so confusing, because a lot of the stuff in my childhood was super confusing. Because it was like at one point they telling me they want me to do good, but then when I start doing good, they trying to bring me back down. So it was a lot of confusion. I felt like it was a lot of jealousy. It was a lot of envy, like in the household. So it's like, I felt like they didn't really give me that, like by them not being emotionally vulnerable and by them not being honest and truthful, like on some of the stuff, like for instance, it done been times where I did certain stuff and I went to my mama or I went to my dad and I apologized. I said, you know what, I was wrong for this. Or I'll be like, oh, I did that and I shouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? My parents would like, that would barely ever be a thing for them. If it was something little that they didn't mind being held accountable for, then it'd be okay. But some of that big stuff that they did that genuinely affected me, no, bro. Like, it's like they wouldn't care. Like, I don't know. And so with that being said, that's how you build love. Love is not just built through providing or buying someone things or feeding them or cooking for them, cleaning for them. That's not how love is formed. Love is formed through like compassion. Love is formed through vulnerability. Love is formed through accountability. It's so many different like aspects in love. And that's why I feel like I was able to like turn my back on my parents, because I don't think my parents genuinely love me the way they thought they did. Yeah, they'll say it just how I could say it. But I don't think we genuinely loved each other. And due to my parents not loving me correctly, I wasn't able to love them. And so it's like now as an adult, I think of my parents as just like regular people. Like people I passed on the sidewalk. And like I said, that's not a negative thing because both of my parents put me out. Since my parents, both of them had the opportunity to put me out with nowhere to go, they didn't want nothing to do with me, and I don't want nothing to do with them. And that's fine, though. That don't have to be a sad thing. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like, I really feel like I really would wish that especially mothers would get out of this mindset of, I'm going to stay with this man because of my kids. And the kids want you to leave too. Be honest. Say you want to stay because the man does XYZ for you and you're comfortable. And just say that. Like, quit blaming it on the kids. Like, quit blaming it on the kids. I feel like that's so sick because the kids be having to get the shorter end of the stick. You knew that man before you had them kids. You knew the type of tactics. You knew that man was a narcissist. You knew that man was an abuser. You knew that man was all types of stuff before you decided to make him our father. And you still decided to make him our father. Now you want to blame the fact that you got to stay with him because of us. No, ma'am, because you should have left that man when you found out who he really was. But you didn't. You stayed with him and you brought other innocent people into the equation, and now we're
Here's
wrong.
another thing. The women that do find that strength to leave their toxic and abusive relationships and partners, them be the real good women. Them be the women that be good women for real, because they can't stay in no narcissistic, toxic environment for too long. Because after a while, they stop resonating with it. Those women that can stay with terrible, and I mean terrible, abusive men for years, like extensive amount of time, 5 to 10 to 20 to 30 years. Those types of women, they could stay with those men for so long because they're just like those men. They're just covert. So a lot of people don't believe this. A lot of people look at the woman in the situation and assume that she's innocent no matter how long she's been with the man. But if a woman can stay with a toxic man for an extensive amount of time, she's just as toxic as that man. She's just as bad as that man. It just shows up differently. And I know this for sure about my mama, because even though my dad was toxic, my mama was a liar too. My mama was toxic too. My dad told me he didn't find out my mama did not graduate from high school until after they got married. My mama was the type to run away from her truth. She would run away from her past. I don't think it's nothing to be shameful about if someone doesn't graduate high school. School is a scam anyway. But to sit up and to cover that up and to hide something like that from the person that you're marrying, that's toe up too. And that's why I believe my mama stayed. And that's why she was able to blame her staying on us, because my mama too was a narcissist and she wasn't like the best person.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, stop blaming your decisions on other people when you know darn well that your decisions don't got nothing to do with them people. You would fight to stay in that even if you had kids or not. And a lot of times these women will have children with a man just to stay in his life. So you telling the children, I can't leave your dad because of y'all. But meanwhile, you had the kids to keep the man. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But what y'all think? Y'all give me your opinions down below. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And that was my 5 on it.